Hey everybody, and welcome back to Slowpoke Racing and to the Tyre Shredders Racing. We are with the Academy guys. We're following them this season. They're in the Subaru WRX, and the Academy is designed to help people fine-tune their racecraft and their driving skills. And so far, it's turned out to be a pretty good season. We're at round 3, and we've come all the way to the other side of the world, well, the other side of the world for some of us, and to Australia, and more importantly, New South Wales, at a little town called Bathurst, where we have Mount Panorama, and what they've done is they've gone and built a track around it, and what a fantastic track it is. We will talk a little bit more about the track in a minute. We have got 6 drivers on the grid. Now, some of them apparently had some problems at customs, and they weren't allowed actually into the country. So hopefully they'll get that sorted out, and we'll see them back on track for race 2. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but for now we'll just go with a 6. So what we'll do is we will have a look down the grid as usual and see who is where. And as you can see, we've got Racing Sim in pole position. Then Gaz is right alongside him in second. Sai is in third. Carlsberg fourth. Corky is fifth. And Hoppers is sixth. So, as I say, unfortunately, it's only 6. But hopefully we're in for some good racing. You can see the lights are on. So, it's... well, I'm not sure if it's sunrise or if it's evening. We shall find out, won't we, when we get this race underway. So without further messing about, let's just crack on with it. It is a grid start, and we're away as they head towards Hell Corner, which is turn 1. Now this track is it's 3.8 miles long. There's 23 turns, and as I say, half of it, well, not quite half of it, but a good chunk of it is actually built into the side of a mountain. Now the other thing with this track is it's actually a street circuit, and these little bits on the right hand side, you can see these little entrances. They are the entrances to people's houses. People actually live on the track, and when it's not race day, this road is the access to their properties. And as we go around the track following these guys around you, if you keep looking around, you might see some of the houses there. So yeah, very interesting track. So the guys of making their way up through the mountain. They're just up through the cut-ins as they lead themselves up into the mountain section. Now there is a 174 metre difference between the highest point and the lowest point on this track, and at the minute the guys, you can see Gaz and Racing Sim are at the highest point, which is up in the mountain section. Great view of Bathurst there in the background. So Gaz through down through the dipper. This is what this track's famous for. It's a hell of a drop in this S section, but Gaz, I say Gaz is just about holding on to the lead, but he has now picked up half a second penalty. Racing Sim behind him will have a big smile on his face, I'm sure, as Gaz has to serve that. Also Carlsberg just behind, he's picked up a penalty as well. Very easy to do, especially up in the mountain section where there are barriers everywhere. The track is very narrow. This part of the track, the Conrod Straight, very, very long, very quick downhill section, and if the slipstream switched on, then you can catch up and get into somebody's slipstream and make a move as you come down the Conrad Straight. At the bottom of the Conrad Straight, we're into the chase at turn 21. This apparently was put in to purposely slow the cars down, because originally it wasn't there, and they were going too quickly into this turn, which is turn 23, Murray's Corner. So the chase was put in just for that purpose, to slow them down. So across the line then we go to start lap 2. Corky in 5th, and then Sai at the back, but everybody's still pretty close together. Now I do believe that Boost is on as Corky, he goes through Hell Corner, and that is why it's called Hell Corner. It is a very difficult turn. It looks easy, it looks just like a normal left-hander, but it is a tricky turn. So Corky and Sai in a bit unstuck there. Sai at the back in 6th, chasing Corky. So what we'll do is let's jump on board with Carlsberg, shall we, as we come up towards the cutting Again, another very tricky turn. A bit of a camber on the road there, which can upset the car, but Carlsberg making it look easy. And then we go up through turns 5, 6 and 7, through Quarry Corner, up into the parks, through Fog Hollow, and then we're into Solomon Park, McPhillamy Park, and then across the S's. Now this is where people live. If you can see some of the crowd there, look, they're probably all standing in the gardens under this little Audi bridge, and then we're into the dipper, which is just about here, and it is a drop. Bang, there we go. Again, a camber in the road, so it can unsettle the car, but these guys making it look easy so far. Quick look behind us to see where Hoppers is. Now we're into Forest Elbow at turn 18, hard onto the noisy pedal through turn 19, and then onto the Conrad Straight, and it's trying to get in that slipstream. And I'm just having a look to see whether we are catching on Gaz, and we're not catching as much as I thought we would, so maybe the slipstream is not set to real. He is catching, but not as much as I thought. Maybe it's because the boost is on, as Gaz has a bit of a look up the inside of Racing Sim as we come out of turn 21 at the chase. Then we start on down the hill again to 23 at Murray's Corner. Now the chase has actually got 2 turns, turn 21 and 22. Excuse me, it is almost like a chicane section. Across the line then, and then into Hell's Corner for the 3rd time, and then we start the climb then up Mountain Straight. It's called Mountain Straight for obvious reasons, because that's exactly where it takes you to. So you can see the guys behind not really catching up as much as I thought they would. So these three, as Gaz tries to mount a challenge on Racing Sim, but Racing Sim holding on to that as he goes through Griffin's Bend at turn 2. Then we start the climb again into the mountain section, so through turns 3 and 4 we go. Racing Sim still trying to defend against Gaz. Gaz all over the back of him, trying to find a way through. Carlsberg still in 3rd, then we've got Corky in 4th, Hoppers is in 5th, and Cy just dropping off the pace a little bit, so he needs to pick it up, doesn't he, to get back onto the pack. Doesn't want to lose sight of the guys in front of him as we go across the top section, the mountain section, which is the parks, into the S's, as we just go under this bridge into the S's. There we go, and down into the dipper. And let's just follow these guys through. Oh, Cy has a big kiss with Barrier as he exits the dipper, but he's still going. He has got damage at the front, but I think the nanobots will sort that out and get that repaired while he's driving along. Now you will have to excuse me, I've had a bit of a sore throat the past couple of days, so if I sound a bit gravelly, might it be sexy, eh? What do you think, ladies? Back up to the top then, Racing Sim still in front from Gaz, although Gaz having a look up the inside at the cutting, at the chase, sorry, and gets the job done. Fantastic move from Gaz. Took a bit of a risk actually going up the inside deck. Easy to lose control of the car at that turn, especially if you get on the curb, so great move from Gaz. I'm not sure if he caught Racing Sim out. I think Racing Sim probably wasn't expecting him to attempt that move, but he did, and it's paid off. So Gaz now the leader of this race. We're 7 minutes into this first race here at Bathurst in Australia, as we see somebody go off at the back. Who was it? Was it Corky, I think, struggling at turn 1. Now can somebody tell me what that little red triangle is down at the bottom there? If you have a look where the gear shifter thing is, just to the right we've got the headlights on, the traction control symbol. Now what is that little red light? The little red triangle. Now I think the focus was supposed to be on traction control with these guys, reducing it for each race, and I'm just having a look now. Some are using it and some aren't, so maybe it's not a requirement, it is just an option, but that's what they're focusing on. Hopper's in 5th, Corky in, well, he's in 6th, and with a half a second penalty as well. Maybe that's through having a bit of a touch with the barrier. This track is notorious for handing out penalties, and it's very easy to pick them up. You've only got to touch the barriers up here through the mountain section, and this is what you get, as Corky finds out. So Gaz out in front now, still with Racing Sim following him, and Racing Sim, let's jump on board with Racing Sim, because I think he is going to have a look as we go down Conrod Straight. He is in the slipstream, and you can see he really is pulling Gaz in. Now Gaz is trying to defend it, but to me he's gone the wrong way, because as we come down to the bottom here and we get to the chase, Racing Sim is actually going to be on the inside, although Gaz has got the natural line. Oh, and they managed to just get through there. You can see Gaz went a bit off-road there, but the WRX four-wheel drive kicks in, gets the car back onto the tarmac. Racing Sim having another look up the inside. Great shot of the flames licking out the exhaust pipes of Gaz's car as he goes through the gears. If we just look behind us, Carlsberg is still there, he's in touch. Into turn 1 at Hell's Corner. Trying to nick a bit of the curves, probably a bit too much there for Racing Sim, but he's still facing the right way, which is the main thing now. Is he going to have another go at Gaz as we go up through Mountain Straight? He's got to get this move done before we get to Griffin's. And Gaz going defensive and hugging that inside line, so if Racing Sim wants it, he's got to go around the outside, which is not an easy thing to do at this turn, and you can see both of them really struggled. Gaz making a bit of a mistake there, which has allowed Racing Sim to get alongside him, but he's holding on to that inside line. Now it's Racing Sim's turn, and he's got his nose in front, but only just as they, I think they're going side by side, so let's just have a look and see what's going on here. Gaz manages to get back in front, and now the pack have caught up to the back of Racing Sim, and he's got Sight and Carlsberg all over the back of him, so he's got eyes in the mirror, and as well as eyes on the back end of Gaz's car. Now we'll just follow him down through the S's into the dipper. Here is the dipper there, and you can see how much the car gets thrown about as you go down that section of track. So you can understand why some of the guys are picking up these penalties. It's so easy to have a touch with the barrier as you come down there. And now Racing Sim has another go at Gaz on the Conrad Straight, side by side down the hill. This is just a drag race now, it's down towards the chase. Racing Sim has got the inside line, Gaz has got the natural line, so this is going to be interesting. Who's got the biggest gonads when it comes to putting the foot on the brake? Who is going to brake the latest? Oh, it's going to be tight. They are still side by side, and it's Racing Sim who just gets in front. Fantastic racing between those two. No contact whatsoever. Racing Sim just does it under braking and has managed to make it stick. He's gone through turn 23. Oh, as Gaz gets all sorts of out of shape going through Murray's, and recovered quickly, but that's allowed Carlsberg to get right up in his business, and Carlsberg now sniffing around the back end of Gaz's car, so Gaz has got some defending to do again. Racing Sim out in front, he's looking to try and get away, but with the boost being switched on, he's not going to get very far, is he? So far though, this is fantastic stuff from these guys. There is only 6 of them on the track, but it is great racing. Another great feature of when the light's a little bit dark, as it is now, when you get a side view shot of the cars in the braking zones, you can see those brake discs glowing red hot as they try and get these cars slowed down. So yeah, look out for that when we come to a corner. So Sight in 4th then. So I must have got that controller sorted out, because well, this track mainly is a left-hand turn, so he doesn't have to turn right very often. There is there is 1 or 2. Griffin's Bend is a right-hander, isn't it? And at Quarry Corner, but mainly Sight can just turn left all day long here, so it's good for him. Oh, as Carlsberg, what's happened to Carlsberg? We've not had to go back and have a look at a replay yet, but big slide from Carlsberg, massive slide as we go into the exit the S's, so that's unfortunate for him, but deep breath give his head a bit of a wobble, and back onto it again. Oh, as Hoppers goes off as well. It's all kicking off now on lap 6. Let's just see what happened to Hoppers. And it looks like it's at Forest. Yeah, he just couldn't get the car slowed down enough, and big smacker with Barry there. So that's Hoppers down to 6. Just couldn't get the car slowed down, could he? He went into Forest elbow, just too hot. Now back up to the top then, where Gaz is now having another go at Racing Sim. These two really are having a good old fight up at the front. Racing Sim positions himself on the inside again. Gaz has to keep going around the outside. Maybe next time round, Gaz, you should try and get yourself on the inside. But what a fantastic battle these two are having. All the while, the others just behind, they keep chopping and changing, don't they? It's Corky now in third, and he wants to try and join the party that's happening up front. So yeah, Corky sitting in third currently, and chasing the two guys up the mountain straight. What a great shot that is, just showing you the climb up to the mountain. Now, as I said, there are people's driveways. You can see those little cuttings on the left and right that lead off to people's houses, and you can actually drive around this track because it is a public road when it's not race day. Great track is Mount Panorama. It's a very difficult track, and you can see the guys, some of them struggling with it. Not to everybody's taste. I do like the track. I'm not very good around it, but I do like the track as a track. But these guys doing okay. Sight in fourth. Carlsberg now down to fifth. He was up there in third at one point, wasn't he? Dropped down to fifth after a bit of a slide in the mountain section, so he's got to put that out of his mind. He doesn't want that again. Trying to get the car slowed down before hitting the dipper. Oh, another bit of a slide from Carlsberg. Maybe a little earlier on the brakes. The key to this track is to try and brake in a straight line. Well, I suppose that's the key to any track, isn't it? But especially this track. And Hoppers down at the back, yeah, braking a straight line so that you can get these tighter turns done. And Racing Sim and Gaz now then. Gaz stuck to the rear end of Racing Sim again, having a good look in the boot of his car, and you can see Gaz, he did think about trying to get up the inside. Oh, and it went all completely wrong. Now I'm going to go back a little bit, and then we're going to do this this chase cam, drone cam, whatever you want to call it, because they did go side by side at one point. Now Gaz, he must have been listening to me, because he was trying to get on the inside, wasn't he? And he just lost it, and so did Racing Sim, but Racing Sim managed to recover. In fact, was there any contact? Let's just go on board with Gaz. Let's have a look and see if there was any contact. Oh, there was a little touch there. That was the problem. There was a tiny touch. And both Gaz and Racing Sim have gone off now. Racing Sim managed to cut across the grass and get back onto the track. So he's carried on and still in the lead of this race. Poor old Gaz, however, came off worst and is now at the back. Well, he was at the back, but Side decided to have a bit of a moment as well as we come down towards Murray's at turn 3. Oh, he's had a bit of a touch there with Carlsberg, hasn't he? So that's why Sai went off. So Gaz comes through and takes 5th then, and Sai drops down to 6th after a little bit of a touch of Carlsberg's bumper as they went into turn 23. So now Racing Sim, well, he's got rid of one nemesis, and the next one now steps up, which is Corky. He is on the chase and looking to wrestle P1 away from Racing Sim. Slight gap then between Corky and Carlsberg. It's not massive, but it is a gap as Corky tries to mount a challenge on Racing Sim. Now he's got to be careful up here if he can get the move done before they get into turns 2, 3, 4 and 5. But he's not, so now I think he's just going to have to sit behind Racing Sim, the same as what Gaz has been doing. So Corky just going to have to sit there behind Racing Sim. Try and get as close as he can, get a great exit out of Forest Elbow where he can mount the attack on the Conrad Straight, and that goes for all of them really. They've just got to sort of sit tight and bide their time. If somebody makes a mistake, obviously in the S's, then they'll be through. And who was that doing a bit of grass cutting? Oh, and the two at the back there, Si and Hoppers, synchronised grass cutting there. If we just see as they come across the top and start the descent now, then no, yes, both of them just drifted off the track. Very easily to do, very easy to do. But both back up and running again. Now then, Racing Sim Corky needs to get closer. As we exit the S's, we go into Forest Elbow at turn 18. This is where you need a good exit. Get your foot planted on the noisy pedal, down through turn 19, and then you're onto the Conrad Straight, and this is where you need to get as close as you can to that car in front, pick up the slipstream, and then make your move as you get to the chase. And you can see that's what Corky's going to be doing. He's got he's right up there in Racing Sim's business. Now Racing Sim has learnt from his battles with Gaz, and just incidentally mentioning Gaz, he's back up there in third. So Racing Sim, he's nemesis of Gaz, he's coming back at him, and he would have seen that in his mirrors. Gaz is not finished yet. Oh, Racing Sim taking a little bit too much corner there at turn 23, but stays in front. Corky still in second. Then we've got Gaz. Let's jump on board with Gaz as he tries to go around the outside of Corky. And now he really is looking through the rear window of Corky's car. And is he going to make a move, or is he just quite happy to sit there now? Maybe a bit of bump drafting. I don't know if that's allowed in these races, but that's where two cars work together, providing the slipstream. One gives the other one a push, and the other one picks up the slipstream. And let's have a look. Where is Corky? There he is. This is not the place to be going too wide. Oh, and Gaz gets it done. I think Corky may have just backed out a little bit to let Gaz through. So Gaz back up into second and chasing Racing Sim down. So he's not finished yet. We are into the 20th minute of this race now. I think it is a 20-minute race, so this could well be. I was going to say the last lap. It may well be the last lap, actually. So Racing Sim just has to hold on. If he can get through this section, through the dipper, and carry on through, then if he can do this section without trouble, then he might just have enough to hold on. He has got Gaz right on his derriere as we hit the Conrad Straight. And now again, drag racing, and this is about the only place that the guys have been able to make the move, to be honest. And Gaz is going to do the same as Sim. You can see Racing Sim, he's already set his stall out. He's letting Gaz know exactly where he's going to put that car, and that is to the left of the track. So he's got the inside line. He's already sort of let Gaz know that early on, and both through there cleanly. Lesson learnt from last time, but Gaz has not finished. He is going this way and that, trying to find a way past as they head down towards the final turn at Murray's. And this is going to be the final lap and final turn, and Racing Sim gets a good exit out of that turn, and Racing Sim is going to cross the line to take the win. Racing Sim, Gaz in second, Carlsberg third, Hoppers fourth, Corky fifth, and Si sixth. What a fantastic race. Only 6 guys on the grid, but still great racing. I will be back very shortly for race 2, so I hope you can join me. Catch you soon.